always been this thing about student voice on campus. And I'm seeing trends where some of that might be disappearing, right? Or it might not be, some people say it might not be as strong as it used to be. We used to see these lists of demands. Prior to that, historically, the students found their voice and their power at college. So how do y'all feel about student voice on campus today? Is it still a thing? Is it not?
I'm gonna let one of you kick it off first, cause so I feel actually no.
That's
Let me stop
your
playing.
thing. Go
ahead,
Yeah,
Esau.
you see what you said, and I think that's the problem right there. The fact that it's like it comes off because I'm active, it becomes like my thing alone. I think people take the moments they have, like in like a place and the impact they can have for granted sometimes. And I know that I wouldn't be where I am. I do what I do if it wasn't for the people who came before me. So like for me, I know somebody's always gonna be coming after me, and I'm always thinking like, whatever I'm doing has impact. And I think that's like where the disconnect comes from. Like, cause like I'll be doing something, and cats will try to clown me for like caring about like going to events, like going to discussions, talking about things, like not want to go out all the time. Cause like at the end of the day, like it's cool, but that like collectively and like on a deeper level, it doesn't like you're not gonna remember the moments like where you went out all the time when you're like 30, 40.
Exactly. Right.
But I'm gonna remember the moments where like I met someone and like some like freshman came up to me and was like, bro, you like changed my life, or like you said something, you did something that impacted me. And like it's like, and I know we've beefed about this too sometimes when we were freshmen and sophomores, like our friend group.
Can I respond to that though real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah, of course.
Because I think that's a very interesting view, and it's a very personalized view as
Yeah.
well. And I agree with a lot of things you said. I feel like for me personally, so I'm a year ahead. You know, I came here when I feel like the campus had a slightly different racial and political landscape, and I think what held me back from getting involved was exactly that. You know, we're at a predominantly white institution. I didn't even really see the room to integrate myself into the campus culture or the life. Like I felt like for me to do so, I would have to become somebody I wasn't, or pursue ideals that I didn't even hold close to me. So I feel like, the institution does or can have an effect on that. But I also am happy that, somebody like you has looked past all of that and, host things like this to like get things like that out there. I think it's really creative. And you honestly, you just made me realize like, that's very innovative. Like, that's innovative thinking.
I think.
How was how Quinnipiac is now? What was it like when you was a freshman?
I would say there was less people. There's definitely less people amongst the African American community. And above all, I feel like just the world as itself, I came in 2016, that was presidential election. That was a very interesting semester for me as a poli-sci major. I saw a lot of arguments about, racial things that didn't have anything to do with race, like gun reform policy ended up having to do with race. Like,
So question, let me interject here a little bit. 2016, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very turbulent year in terms of politics and changes in the country. As an administrator who works with college students for a living, right? I started to see different students bow out and say, my opinion doesn't matter, or just start to be sort of apathetic towards creating change or feeling like it wouldn't matter. It was like almost like a sense of hopelessness. Like, did y'all experience that at all?
I think I did a little bit. For me, my thing was, I would say something and I felt like people wouldn't listen, so they were just brushing it off. So I was like, all right, I don't need to say anything anymore. If I say something, I'll say it to him, they'll listen to him, and then I went through him through everything, but he still wouldn't be like, oh, you should still do it for yourself. But if you don't feel like anybody's gonna listen to you, you're just gonna stop talking in general. That's what I think for a lot of college students.
But you have a direct line to the public servant.
But so I do, but not everybody does. So those people who don't are just like mute and they won't say anything.
Right.
And sometimes it's not even the right environment for college students to say anything. But trying to like bring that out, like this environment right here, we can talk about anything right here. This is a good environment for people who have no voice.
You feel like sometimes, well, I want to get to you. I feel like you feel like sometimes like school doesn't do enough to like facilitate that voice.
Yeah, we had to learn by fending for ourselves.
There.
Exactly.
That's what I'm proud of you though. And that's like kind of just consistent with what I was saying, because like if there was no males, even students to look up to in your freshman year, it really was even less
None,
my
yeah.
freshman year. It just wasn't as diverse of a university as it was
As
advertised.
is now, yeah. But now,
Advertised.
Yeah.
but I think now, like how do you feel about that stuff? Like you come in, like you're the youngest one here, basically. Like,
We were on
how do you
FaceTime with
think?
you before you even got here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. But I wasn't trying to just come into school and just like, especially not a school like this. Like there's a reason I reached out. Like I went like following people on Instagram. Like
Yeah.
I was
You
trying
want to like build a community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was trying to see like what was good. Like I hit up Miles, and you know the house party app. We would all get on
Yeah,
there.
we were on house
Late
party.
night house parties. That was OD.
Summer, was that 2K18 summer?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember
summer
which one it was, but it
2018,
was
I'm pretty sure.
1 in the morning house party just chatting it up.
I
Freshman
didn't even
year.
know them.
We ain't never seen
He
him
found us on
before.
Instagram through QU pages, followed
That's
us,
crazy.
and we would just be chatting like sometimes in the morning, just all playing video games on house party, like a FaceTime.
Now, Steph, for you, was that like, all right, I know I'm going here. These are the people that I might be hanging out with when I get there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
So you started to cultivate and create some of that space before you got it. This is interesting.